Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. Today we are on the LMU once again, and I believe it is time for us to go qualifying. So welcome back, we're here at Fuji. Without the chicane, you'll notice on the track map on the left hand side of your screen. And we are getting away for qualifying now. 10 minutes of qualifying here for us. A little bit slippery. So here is where we see the alternative layout. No chicane, just throw it into this pretty quick right-hander. But still somewhat tight. Then we get into this normal final sector. These long corners. Heading to turn one on our first flying lap. Little late on the brakes. That's a bit of a cut. I just finished a race on a set course literally minutes ago. So re-acclimatizing to LP2. And LMU. So we're about to see first flying laps come in. One car DQ'd at the moment because they set it because they were out on track outside of our qualifying allotment for LP2. Purple final sector. Up into this left-hander when I wanted to be turning in. Could have carried more speed through that right-hander. Just a little lock up there. means we won't improve on in our middle or final sectors. All the improvement came in sector 1 this lap. We'll still gain half a second, 3 more laps of fuel. Much better on the T1 Apex, gains up a couple of tenths. The left-hander. Not locking up this time. Locking up there when we had a purple middle sector. Car in front's generously gonna last past. Pick up all that time we lost at the final corner last lap. And we're on for a provisional pole at the moment. 26 thousandths, and we still have time to find. Little lock up there into T1. Still got the car turned in, got a good exit. Better run through that right-hander. Lock up into the left-hander again. Not throwing away a whole lot of time with the lock-up there, though not getting a great exit. Wide here. I do not deserve pole position with how scruffy these laps have been. Throwing away time every lap. But one final lap to try and pick it all up. That is not an apex at T1. Gonna lose us a tenth and a half. Not the best run through the left-hander, but better than what we did on our fastest laps so far. Turned in too early. Trying not to lock up. Right, just need to find the time through the next two right-handers. Nearly threw it away on the grass there. That wasn't a good run through there. Starting to get understeer in the car. Yeah, the tires haven't sort of survived the final lap. Did I practice pit entry? Evening, Geeky. I left a lot of time on the table there, so I did. So now we've got a little bit of time to relax. Before the race gets underway in 10-ish minutes. I'm doing alright, and had a good day so far. I did the Craig Antlet Hill Climb, the one round of the British Hill Climb Championship that takes place over here in Northern Ireland. So that was good. Weather really good this weekend. Very sunny though. Was very maybe a little bit too much sun. Was again a bit dehydrated. Very windy at the top of the hill as well. So it was actually, even with the sun, it was quite cold. You go down the hill a little bit. There's some more trees to block the wind, and yeah, it was very warm. Yeah, ending up what, little under 9/10 off the provisional pole. I mean, maybe half second in sector one. I don't think we could have got pole there, but we could have been much closer. Also, not too far off the hypercar times. There's 3 hypercars that we're within 2 seconds of. We're only 4 seconds off the quickest hypercar. That's gonna be interesting when it comes to being lapped by the hypercars. Still waiting for GT3 times to come in. So we just wait patiently for the qualifying. Starting to get GT3 times coming in. About 9 seconds off of us, the top one so far. Aston Martin at the moment. Let's see, where's our hypercar selection? Good bit of variety. 3 BMWs, 2 Porsches, 1 Ferrari, 1 Toyota, 1 Peugeot. So good bit of variety. 3 of those, 3 different manufacturers in top 3. Ferrari, BMW, Porsche. And the hypercar field split by about 2.5 seconds. A little over that. LMP2s. Oops, second Ferrari's joined. Just missed as, 15 minutes have passed since the end of hypercar quali. LMP2 field a little bit more spread out. Just over 4 seconds separating all of the cars. Of course, it's a one make. And then we have the GT3s. At the moment, we have 2 Aston Martins, 3 BMWs again, 2 McLarens, a Ferrari, and a Ford. So again, another good selection among the classes. No dominant or no car that's well, the BMWs across both classes have their numbers, but yeah, and it's a decent spread of different cars throughout the classes. So just 4 minutes of quali. Still Aston Martin on top of the GT3 pack. Now let's actually watch a little bit. Standings. Right, Ferrari up to the line. Needs 3 attempts here to get to the top 3. Does improve. Doesn't head up a position. BMW, I think, improved, but didn't get themselves any further up. And that one is in pit lane. Ooh, McLaren getting onto the grass. Didn't seem to lose you too much time, though I'd be worried about spinning the car. Ooh, I'm wide there again. Isn't time to be found doing that. Looking to be a bit of distance between themselves and P4 and 5. Who are right on their tail. So up to the line then. Does improve by nearly 4 attempts. Let's see. Aston Martin now in pole position can extend its margin at the front of the times. Doesn't look like it. BMW in second place now. Trying to see if they can improve. Get themselves up onto provisional pole. Up to line and they don't improve either. Drivers struggling to find time. Ferrari now coming up to line. Just needs a 10th to get up to P4 here. Can they find that 10th? Nope. They cannot. Aston Martin now out for the final corner. Looks like they will have held on to P4 here towards the dying stages of qualifying, but can they just give themselves a little bit more breathing room? Cross the line, they don't improve either. So yeah, people struggling to improve. McLaren pulling off. Let's see. Yeah, it'll be Aston Martin will be next across the line for the final qualifying lap. Quite a few drivers not opting to set a final lap. Probably just due to tyres not being in good enough condition anymore. So now up to the line once more. Doesn't improve. Last chance then for the BMW. There is the line. Again, no improvement. So BMW just needs half a tenth to get itself up to P7, 3/10 to get itself to P6. Cross line doesn't improve. No one has improved. And so that is how the GT3 field will stack up. Let's see. Three and a bit seconds covering the GT3 field, so a little bit more of a spread similar to the LMP2 class. So, qualifying done and dusted. I think, is that a 12.475? I think the... So maybe Aston did find a 10th at the end, though it doesn't really make any difference to the standings. Got a hypercar starting from the back since it was late joining. Hopefully session takes over any moment now.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
Right, so P10 overall, P2 within the LMP2 class. We're not really thinking about this race too competitively. We're just thinking about it in terms of sort of having a bit of fun, enjoying the battles.
Formation lap has started.
If this is BMW, we'd like to go. Right, here we go for the start. BMW's not going the speed it should be.
Green flag, green flag.
Luckily the BMW launched well, otherwise I was going to go into the back of it. But towards T1 we go. Some people coming from quite far back. There's the fry that started at the back. See how the LMP2 cars pretty much handled just as well as the Hypercars. It's only really the acceleration that the Hypercars have the advantage. Oh, that's a bit of a snap. Don't lock the tire. Don't want to damage the tires. Drop back a little bit from the car in front. Thank you, Pre, for the good luck. I could have been a little bit braver on the brakes there. No battery, no hybrid for the LMP2s. Only the Hypercars have hybrids, and not all of them do. Most of them, but not all. Toyota having an issue there into this quick right-hander. Holding us up now, side by side in the background for P3 in the LMP2 class here. But yeah, not ideal they're getting held up by the Hypercar. If the Toyota just committed to rejoining, they would have been on in front of us and would have been fine. But because they sort of hesitated, it just meant that they then started holding me up. Taking this right-hander less aggressively than I did in qualifying, just to try and save the tire a bit. Help it to go the distance. That Toyota Hypercar is really struggling to keep it on the track. Very close between us and the time for the LMP2 car in front. Hypercar finally trying to get that move done. Big lock up for the Toyota there. Toyota's going to be holding up the LMP in front. And the LMP2 is back in front actually. The best line there. Give us a per exit. That allows us to take fastest lap of the race. In there somewhere. Have to be very careful running that curve. It can't sort of just spin the car out. Just trying to get a little bit more understeer through that long right-hander. LMP2 in front might be getting a good slipstream off the Toyota. Or maybe not a good slipstream, but a little bit of a slipstream. And yeah, retakes fastest lap for the race. We're not too far behind in terms of lap time. But I don't think we're winning this race on pace. You never know how this race is going to go with traffic. Fastest first sector this lap. And now we take fastest lap of the race. just running sort of consistent pace at the moment with the car in front. While we've got clean air. But now we're going to get into GT3 traffic. GT3 cars already spread out over half the lap. Car in front retakes fastest lap of the race. And we won't be getting it back this time. Because we're going to meet some GT3 traffic. Round the outside of the first BMW very cleanly. Second BMW puts itself into a wall. Do not recommend doing that, by the way. Got to beat our personal best here ever so slightly by literal thousands. 7 thousandths in the end. Locked the rears a little bit there. Into T1. Careful not to do that again. Somehow cut that right-hander. Didn't really gain any time, but we got quite a few track limit points. Where's that GT3 going? There's an Apex in there somewhere for them. Struggling for traction there. You can just see their rear end sliding around. Taxi to the apex. Might have needed one with how far away they were. Side by side between 2 GT3s in front. I think that's 2 McLarens there. Notice how much more worn the front left is. I'll be this long right-hander, just punishing it. Okay, I don't know what that McLaren was doing, but again, apex in there somewhere. I'd appreciate if you hit it. GT3 cars aren't giving me a lot of confidence at the moment. Have some slipstream Mustang. You probably don't really need it, but have it. Like, it's hard to tell if the drivers are just making mistakes and missing their apexes, or if they're intentionally running wide thinking, oh hey, go down the inside of us. Which they shouldn't be doing. Still a few more GT3 cars to go. Look at the GT3 hunting for the slipstream. The pole sitter is not leading GT3, interestingly. Really bad place to catch the GT3. You stay over there. I'll pass you on the inside here, thank you. 3-second lead. Or like nearly a 4-second lead for the GT3 leader. A little too tight on the apex there. Has a lot of rotation in it at the moment, especially on throttle. Get off the curb. Yeah, don't have a lot of sort of confidence in the throttle. Well, we're only 20 minutes into the race. Oh, boy, it's gonna be a long race. We are closing in slightly on the car in front. Less than a 10th last lap. It's in there somewhere. Well, that's a good right-hander there. Gives us a purple middle sector. That was a horrible right-hander, that one. Catching up to GT3 cars once again. Oh, any thought by catching the car in front. They've tried to put to bed 29.0, the fastest lap of the race. Is that BMW going slower than normal into the braking zone for T1? Or is that just the concertina effect between the two classes? Because that felt like I was closing in really quickly. Felt quicker than what I was expecting. But maybe my expectations were wrong. That's not an ideal line. Now this is the BMW that, when we caught the last time, decided to go visit a wall. Thankfully we're on a straight this time, so it hasn't visited a wall. I just held the brakes a little too long. We'll lose a second from that. A little bit of scrub on the tires. Yeah, left sides are a bit overheated now. Laps in this stint to go. 15 minutes. The question is whether to change tires or not. Are they on the brakes? With that mistake, I've just kind of lost my rhythm a little bit. I think that's the line you want to take through that right-hander. Just taking a bit of curb, but not too much. You take too much, it kind of bounces you out wide, and you lose momentum. You just sort of get the tire, ooh, into the pits already? No. Not sure why LP2 car was pulling all the way over to the right-hand side there. Purple opening sector. Starting to catch GT3s again. That maybe could have been a new fastest lap if we didn't have the GT3 traffic, which was quite interesting to pass. And despite that, look how much time we gained on the LP2 in front. Deep into, not so deep into T1 this lap. Just a very late apex. Didn't lose too much time from passing that McLaren. I pulled the clutch in. How did the car stall there? No rear wing. I need to come in and fix this. Oh God, you do like... do like any speed at all. Pit stop requested. Hopefully this doesn't take too long to repair. Yeah, just start pushing too hard trying to get a fast lap. Ooh. Damage is 75 seconds. So we'll probably lose like what, by a lap's worth of time from that mistake. Fuel is in at 37 seconds of fuel. Of course, we'll be off strategy now to the end. By the time we come out of the pits, we might just be about like 2 laps here, but of course the other cars will be yet to make their first pit stop. Oh, fuck's sake. I was trying to start the car, but I wasn't tabbed into the game. I tabbed out. Oopsies. Yeah, that cost me one extra 5 seconds. 27. Twenty-seven laps of fuel. Hopefully we don't have to do a splash and dash at the end of the race. So we'll carry on. Same plan as before, just see if we make anything up from here. 4 minutes, 4 seconds. Interesting line from the BMW there. To over rotate there. Good drive out of the final corner. Hypercars are close to catching us, so they'll catch us this next lap. As we said, new personal best. New fastest lap of the race for one of the cars behind us. For the car behind us, I should say. A little bit awkward there. Just gotta let the parachute go. BMW runs wide. Good three-way fight here for the lead. Fourth place isn't too far behind either. Still three manufacturers in the top three for Hypercar. This BMW, I guess, before the braking zone doesn't look like it, unfortunately for them. BMW leaving us a nice little bubble of air there on the inside. Looks like we're seeing a pit stop for P3 within our LMP2 class. That's, well, technically the car in front of us for position. Of course, so we are a lap or so down. Peugeot Hypercars spun. That was P3. Again with the closing on the GT3s into that T1. Peugeot has caught us in the worst place possible for them. We'll sneak a bit of slipstream. Now we can see gaps to the cars ahead. So yeah, we're only 1 lap behind the leader. I don't know why it says 2. A lot of trust put in that GT3. So with, what, 2.25 hours, we definitely have time to close in the gaps to the cars in front. For second and third. We'll never catch the leader, of course. We were barely catching them as it was. T1. I'd say if I put the whole lap together, could retake the fastest lap of the race. That lockup isn't going to help. Fastest sector 1. 3 and a bit tenths up. Clan GT3 spun. BMW GT3 spun as well. Lost a bit of time on the final corner. Maybe 2 tenths. Still nearly 3 tenths up here. Fastest lap, 1:29 dead or 1:28.999, depending on where you look. I wonder how long we'll keep that for. It's not the ideal line. With 12 track limit points, we have 4 an hour, or 1 every 15 minutes. So we're well clear for track limits at the moment. Okay, locking up that front left. Much better exit of the final turn here. Of the curb, nearly wanted to spin the car round. Optimal is a 128.7. I got distracted looking at the lap time thing. Because it's not normally something I do look at. Interesting. So I can look at comparison between the people around me. see if... Okay, I'm not quite sure what everything means when you're scrolling from side to side in the timing MFD. Okay, if you go sector, shows you your sector times, or your lap time as of that sector. And then delta just shows you the difference between yourself and them. Okay, I'll probably keep this up for a bit. Fry running wide on cold new tires. Leader in GT3 at the moment. One of the GT3s behind made a mistake. Can see the time we're gaining on the car in front. Nearly 4 seconds last lap. We're catching up to a hypercar. It's obviously got to pull away on this straight, but I feel like we've closed in on it this lap. Oh, it's on a light lap, so it's getting tires up to temp. That's why we're gaining. lock up for the Porsche in front. Looks like we've had one car retire from each class. I think a GT3 spun there. Still closing in on the Porsche in front. Oh, that Aston Martin was sliding. A little bit of a lock-up. So that front left is alright to the same point as the right-hand side tyres that we didn't change at the pit stop. Shows you just how much it's being worn. Another car having spun. Leader in the LMP2 class. One hour done, 2 more to go. 68 seconds, catch P2. We're now onto the lead lap by about a second. I want to stay on the lead lap. Bit of locking there, T1. A little bit quicker than the leading P2 behind us. They've now got stuck behind that BMW. Gives us a bit more of a gap. P3 just going into T1 at the moment. You can see them just there. Over a second quicker than the P2 last lap. That's not how you take that left-hander. Really bad opening sector to this lap. Of course, this is the point that we made the mistake last stint. So we didn't even make it this far into the stint. I feel like I can already tell that the mistake, the fact that to put us off strategy is going to be really detrimental to us. More minutes of fuel. Getting held up by a hypercar coming out of the pits isn't ideal. And then they're going slowly because they're on cold tires. We'll get P3 here as LMP2 runs wide. Porsche either going to need to set up a good move through here, or you're going to need to wait. Looks like you're waiting. P2 and GT3 off in the runoff. Kind of mad how, despite the Porsche having only overtaken us into T1, or overtaking us way back at T1, we were still like right behind it at the end of the lap. that McLaren was a bit slow through the left-hander, back the fry up. Maybe I just overestimated how quick the GT3s can go through there. Let's see, lap times. Now we've got lap times 2P2. 2.6 seconds quicker last lap. That's good. Track is getting darker and darker, making it a little bit harder to see reference points. I think that Aston expected me to send it down the inside there. That's too much curb on the inside. There's that Porsche still struggling to overtake GT3s. And the Aston behind us in GT3 spun there. One BMW coming into the pits, the other was trying to get slipstream and making it very unclear whether they're pitting or not. Personal best for the Porsche in front, or for a car. Maybe that's one of the cars that's retired. They did a personal best on the lap before they retired. Thinks we still have 70 laps to go. So for gaining multiple seconds a lap on P2, we should easily get back into P2. But I think we need to make up more time than it seems, more than the 55 seconds. I think we're at a net deficit when it comes to sort of the pit strategy. Need pits at the end of this lap. I'm going to brave it with no... I'm going to keep the right hand side tires. Should I change now? That yellow fuel warning was very distracting, just as I was about to turn in. No, actually I should change the tires now, and then try and run the next set of tires to the end. But if I could go an extra 10 minutes here, you know, we'd be very close to the halfway mark. but it just mean that the right-hand side tyres were 10 minutes newer throughout the rest of the race. That's really where we've been set back. Not going too aggressively into the pits. I'm going to take 1 litre of fuel out. No, that's not. "54-second pit stop. Gonna be here a little while again. Not long to go now. So, new tyres. We're going to come out very close to the leader again. So it seems like a pit stop, full fuel and all 4 tyres is very close to 1 lap lost in time. Also, I wish the lights for these cars were like a little wider. The cone of vision, cone of light. It's a little bit narrow for my liking. Like, I'm trying to look out the left-hand side window for some of these apexes, and they're just not getting lit up. Final apexes would like to be a little more lit as well. Apex curve there. I'll get up to speed soon so I don't lose out to the leader. huge difference in grip now going for this right-hander. Just able to keep it tight up onto the white line, whereas before the car was just sort of sliding out from it. Very aggressive on the curb there. Struggling to see the curb, but couldn't see it between the Aston and it just sort of being in the blind spot. Unfortunately, we're not getting the lap times again to P2 on the relative timing MFD page. A little bit deep into T1, making that overtake. BMW was also deep. Halfway through this race yet. Up the next pit strat early. McLaren give us a little bump. Thankfully, should have minimal effect. Brake just a bit early there because I knew otherwise we'd catch the GT3. I'm glad they seen there that I wanted to pass on the right. Left the space there. Car behind was, yeah, the leader of LMP2 was a bit slow last lap. This allowed us to open up a bit of time to them. even though we're well clear on track limits. When the other LMP2s are gonna pit. Leaders into the pits 4 minutes before the halfway mark. You can easily fuel save that. That's like 3 laps. Of course that becomes like 8 laps, or probably about 5 laps. Maybe 6 over the course of the entire race. You know, but that'd be 2 laps of fuel in 1 hour segment. And, you know, we've had races where it's worth saving like 4 laps of fuel in a 45-minute race to avoid pitting. So I think the actual correct strategy in this race would have been to fuel save. Of course, a bit late for that now. Leading hypercar behind us now. Nope, you're not close enough. Because you tried that half-hearted move into that first right-hander. You're now having to wait all the way through Sector 3. If the Ferrari backed off, lifted early into the right-hander where the chicane is, hit the throttle on the exit, it could have got past. But because it decided it wanted to have a think about making a move into the corner, it got a per exit. It then, even with the hypercar acceleration, couldn't get alongside and then had to wait that whole final sector. That is per execution of lapping a lower class car. Guys, the hypercar gonna be stuck behind a GT3 the whole final sector. No, gets them on the exit here. But why are you coming to the middle of the track? Just stay left. That GT3, I'm pretty sure that GT3 could have got on throttle sooner. And because they didn't, it kind of held us up. Right, 33 seconds now is the gap. But when we come in for a final pit stop, it's going to be much longer than the driver in second place's pit stop. Because I'm going to have to take on like 12 more minutes of fuel. It's risky keeping the throttle pinned as we scraped over the curb. It looks like car behind's had an issue, taking a long pit stop. They're not out of the race, but I imagine they're repairing a lot of damage. Now, is this Peugeot going to be any better than the Ferrari? Luckily, the Peugeot actually hadn't quite caught us. It was just a few car lengths far back enough to not be held up there. Turned in too early. I saw the BMW going out wide. I was like, well, then I'm not going to the outside. I was like, just please hold that wider line that you're on. And they started cutting back, but I was just able to get alongside before they'd closed the door. Very, very risky move, I must say. Probably scared the living crap out of the BMW driver. But hey, is it a proper multi-class race if you're not getting scared by the other classes? I don't think it is. Let's see. I don't know if that means I still have fastest lap in the race or not. Oh, that McLaren missed their braking zone a little bit. Apex in there somewhere again. I just had a little feeling, I was like, this fry's gonna move out of the way, isn't it? And it did. Because I was thinking of a cutback, I was like, hang on. I need to go much tighter. This is too tight. I was like, maybe I need to go to the left here. And yeah, sure enough, the fry did open up the gap on the left. 1 second gained on the car in front last lap. Leading GT3 cars, next one to pass. Felt like that would have been a bit opportunistic. I'm just in a horrible spot to try and get the move done. Yeah, I don't think there's much I could have done there. I could have tried something risky. I didn't want to. That time it felt too risky. I've done a few risky things this race. Yeah, it means we do lose last second, we gained last lap on the car in front, but that's just how things go every so often. I've seen a purple lap there on the relative, and I'm like, oh, please don't say that's my fastest lap going, but no, it's the hypercar lap. We'll see once we've passed pit lead where that time, how that time compares to the car in front. Maybe we'll not actually. 2 seconds gained. Trying to spot where that curb is in the middle of darkness isn't easy. My second gap now to the leader behind us. 7/10 gain that lap on the car in front. I locked the brakes there. Not ideal. Gap isn't consistently coming down multiple seconds a lap. I'd say we're probably averaging a second a lap. Of course, traffic does have an influence. Gained a second and a half this lap. 2.3 seconds even. I'm hoping the hypercars that are catching up to the P2 that we're chasing down. Hope they kind of hold each other up a bit. Really unsettled the car. Apex in there somewhere for the BMW. Got risky. Of course, certainly had a little twitch on that curb as it bottomed out. That's what the fry should have done when it caught us. You see, just lift into the corner, carry more speed through the corner, and make the move on the exit with the extra momentum that you carried through the corner. Lost a little bit of time this lap. Too early there. Catching up to more GT3s in this final sector. Thank you, McLaren. That's actually really helpful. Can't fault the McLaren turning into early there. Compromised my exit a little bit. Still, we made up for the time that we lost last lap compared to the car in front. Personal best for the car in front. They're hitting their stride. No. And now is the time that they do need it. Good bit cleaner for them too now. Those hypercars are past them. They're past the LMP2 car. I think that BMW was letting us through there, which is appreciated. Gained 1.8 seconds that lap. So there we go. We'll obviously not catch them this stint. We've only got 4 laps to go. But we should catch them next stint. Purple middle sector. Could be a new fastest lap of the race here. Let's see, do we have it? We do indeed. 400s quicker. New purple middle sector. Oh, stalled. Ah! Rear end started going round, so I caught it, and then I thought, right, I'm fine now, and then it went again. Ah. 10 seconds down the drain. Luckily, no cars passed us in that time, so it's not like, oh, we then lose an extra second getting past the GT3. It's just the sort of 10 seconds we lost from the spin. Annoying. GT3 here has had an issue. That's wide. Don't you dare flash your lights at me. I'll flash my lights at you next time. Just to be annoying about it. There. Give me a little deep. New left-hand side tires. Try not to scrape the wall pit entry. Ooh. That's a little touch and go, locking the brakes and coming into the pits. 46 seconds this time, a bit shorter since we're not changing all 4 tires. And away we go. Grip isn't too bad when you've only got 2 new tires. Except for on the rear end. 140.9 for the leader last lap. As a slow lap from them. That wouldn't be pit stop related. Ideal, to be honest. Immediately back on pace for the leader with the 29.3. Two hours in now. Just 1 hour to go. For 40 minutes on a tank of fuel. That's kind of to be expected with the P2. Car came out of the pits and instantly spun into the wall. That is not a recommended strategy. Question is, do I put new left-hand side tires on for the final stint or not? It's probably going to be about 25 minutes long. I should have meant to shift down to second for that corner. This BMW in the final sector. Thank you, BMW, for being cooperative. Braked a little bit early for T1 close. Didn't mean to do that. Didn't lock the brakes this time, passing a GT3 there. Still ran a little bit wide. Some reason not getting the LMP2 in front of us time on the relative. I suppose it wouldn't be too hard for we can see there we gained a few tenths last lap. What the fuck are you doing? I'm pretty sure that BMW braked early. Yeah, there is a hypercar in front of us for position. I don't know if they've retired. Right lap. Oh, nope, yeah, they've just come out of the pits. They're gonna have to make a splash and dash as well, I think. This is the car they have to return the flash to. Actually caught them in a good spot there. Just in time to get a move down the inside of T1, or final corner. Trying for a new fastest lap? I don't know, are we? Lost too much time in the final sector. Of course, we did that lap with like 4 laps of fuel, and we currently have 19. Yeah. Gonna be difficult to beat that fastest lap, especially as the right-hand side tires are now a stint old. Or a stint older than they were when we set the fastest lap. So maybe this lap. Well, a little lock up there was not ideal. Yeah, that's probably bad for me. I sort of caught the first slide, and then I just slide bit off the throttle on the grass. Nope, spin again. And I thought I had just enough time to get spun around and going before the hypercar came. And also enough space. But no, it wasn't enough. I hate how unreliable the race laps relative is. Like the driver who hit me there, the hypercar, has appeared on the relative multiple times throughout this race, but now when I'm like, oh, what driver was that I need to apologise to after the race? Oh, nope, not gonna show you. Well, it can say no more fastest laps. See what the gap is here. If I'm not on target to beat Jones, do I fix all the damage, put on a new set of tyres, full set, all corners, and go for fastest lap? I feel like I do. Because my final pit stop is probably going to be 20 seconds longer than Jones's on fuel anyway. And they're not too far from not needing an extra pit stop. Plus my PSA is kind of going out the window with the damage. If Jones can go, maybe... where are they? Oh, they're into the pits already. And it's going to be a stretch to make it to the end from here. But will be a very... like, they'll need like 3 or 4 laps of fuel. I'm gonna need like 15. Just got to pit exit. I mean, if I didn't make those mistakes in the final sector, that's lost me, what, 20 odd seconds? I think we could have been in front. We could have been in front. Because despite those mistakes, we're like just as far back from Jones as we were before we made them. Given our final pit stop is going to be like 12 laps of fuel longer, which is about 25 litres. Again, just lost the car in the grass. Tried to spin there again. I think it'll be 16 laps needed. Yeah, if I didn't make those mistakes, I definitely would have finished on the lead lap. Which we've been good going after the first mistake in the first stint. More laps. You really have to keep the car straight if you have any wheels on the grass there. We are actually lapping faster than the hypercar behind us. So we are gonna like give up an overall spot because of those mistakes. And going for a full repair to try and take fastest, or try and lower, set a new fastest lap, let's say. The final portion of the race. Looks like the other LMP2 car behind us. Has had another issue, spending another while in pit lane, losing more laps. "37 minutes to go now. Still a long way." A little late on the brakes there for T1. Thank you. Could say it's all about bringing this home to the end now, but I still want to try and get fastest lap once we pit. Try and get a little bit lower. Hands are getting a little bit tired. Feedback up there. And there's some issues with bit rate, so apologies if there's any dropped frames, which there is plenty of. 7-minute lap time for the LMP2 behind. 7 laps to go. We have started closing in a bit on the current front. Even with the damage and not the best driving, let's be honest. Kind of anticipated the car wanting to snap sideways, so I pre-corrected it. Of course, I had to take a little longer trip across the grass, but was better than spinning off into the wall. The apex there. That's a cut. Didn't even come up track limits, because it certainly wasn't any quicker. Down to 14 seconds, but it'll go up to like 24 after the pit stop. "30 minutes remain." Again, 2.3 seconds last lap on the current front. And 7/10 on the hypercar behind us. Do I ditch the strategy? Do I ditch fastest lap at the chances of P2? I don't know. Thought about moving to the inside, but Mustang took too tight of a line for it. Six tenths that. really how fast GT3s are through there. Nice lock up. That was not a good lap. 3 more laps till we have to pit. That's the other LMP2 car adventuring off at T1. That's a line. Far from a good one. That's a line. If I don't try the strategy to get P2, I'll never know how possible it is. I'll never know how close I would have came, or if I could have actually done it. One thing I want really is fastest lap, but I probably have it at this stage. So I probably should just commit to trying to get P2, trying, you know, hopefully don't lose fastest lap and can maybe get both. But can maybe end up with neither. Nice lock up. Not ideal having the Mustang on the inside there, but nothing we can do about it. Yeah, and that means we're actually going to be a little bit slower. Only 15 thousandths, but we were a little bit slower than the car in front. Have to pit at the end of this lap. Decision has to be made. Do we fix everything and take new tyres for fastest lap? Or shortest pit stop possible to try for P2? I've got to try for P2, haven't I? Damage isn't that bad. Big thing that's going to lose me time is how much fuel I have to fill up. "16 laps, 16 laps. That's a little better on the pit entry, a little tidier. A little quicker into the pit stall. I think our big loss is going to be that Jones is only going to have like an 8-second pit stop, I think. We had a 22. That's an extra 14 seconds we're going to lose. And we were already like 10 seconds back, so that's technically 24 seconds we need to gain from now to the end of the race. Definitely need some luck on our side to make that happen. Also trying to beat Wood in Hypercars. Think they need to pit again, and they're only 16 seconds in front of us. So a pit stop would put us back in front of them for overall position. And a half minutes to go then. I don't think it's gonna happen, but we'll keep pushing just in case. I'd rather see the lap times to Jones rather than the lap times to the hypercar. 555. That's risky. On the grass again. It's just locked up and it's too wide there. Have to go run the whole grass. 2 seconds lost. Just from being a little bit wide and locked at the front right ever so slightly. I mean, even if we doesn't need to pit, we might be able to catch them anyway on pace alone. We just needed to not lose 2 seconds for no reason last lap. That would have helped. This lap wasn't that slow. Despite the worn tyres and the damage, this was actually a pretty decent lap. Please catch the GT3. Please. Oh, there goes half a second. Nothing I could do about it. Gained nearly 5 seconds last lap on the hypercar. I think they ran into some issues, or it's maybe some traffic. Hypercar leaders catching up to us. They came into the pits a lap after I did. Again, not going to catch this GT3 before T1. But not going to catch them in T1 either. Leading BMW, very unlucky that it caught me lapping a GT3 and thus got stuck. He's gonna eat away. At that gap. gained like 7/10 last lap on the hypercar. What will we gain this lap? 3/10. I mean, as long as we're gaining time on a hypercar, we're doing well. That's the P2 car that's 10 laps down now. At least they're still going. And they're likely to make it to the finish. Gain more time on the hypercar this lap. Two seconds we gained. Minutes to go. Might be a lap short on fuel. I might be like 2 laps short on fuel actually. I did put 16 laps of fuel in the car, didn't I? Yeah. So how am I apparently only going to get like 13.5 laps of fuel out of this stint? That's what I want to know. Well done, Porsche. That's the leader. In the hypercar class, they've had an issue. Yeah, I'm a lap short on. I'm a lap and a half short on fuel. Lap 111 out of 117. Meaning 7 laps to go. 2.5 laps short. Let's lock up. Height. Well, I'm going to ditch this plan and go for fastest lap. Because we're definitely not getting P2 if we've short fueled, and we're definitely not being the hypercar. So might as well try and go for another fastest lap. Get damage fixed only, what? 15 seconds of damage? For how much of the car is damaged, that is not a lot at all. And we do have repair all on. Oh, it looks like we might actually come out in a bit of traffic here. I think we put some heat into the rear tires there. Don't lock up into turn one. BMW doesn't have a rear wing. That's scary. That is scary. When you're on cold tires, go round the outside of a BMW that doesn't have a rear wing through a high-speed corner. Yeah, scary. Now, theoretically, this should be easy fastest lap. Not this lap coming up, but in a couple of laps' time. I think I'm going to let all the hypercars through first, though. Oh, you did the thing you should never do in multi-class racing of pulling in front of your lower class car as soon as you lap them. I'm going to let you go as well. Looks like there's a whole lap between second and third now, if second is right behind me. Well, that's a weird light. So what, we're gonna get 3 more laps, hopefully? Or 2 more laps, sorry. I was going to say, oh, Hypercars made a mistake. They're going to catch us up, but it's the one that we're quicker than. So, fastest lap, here we come. We'll hopefully get 2 attempts at this. We are trying to beat our own delta. Tire's still not up to temperature though, so it might be a little bit difficult. Not too bad for a T1. Lost half a tenth though. Threw away that lap. Seconds to the line. Leaders should make it, but they can slow down if they want to. I need to get more temperature into the tires. Leader is in T1 as time runs out, so we will have one more lap. I also need to get myself from the hypercar, because it's not the quickest hypercar, so I could catch it. So here we go then. Of course, remember, if we didn't pit there, we would have done one more lap on the field. Braked too early. I've already thrown away a quarter of a second. And I've invalidated the lap. Twice for good measure. Yeah, give myself too little time to have a proper go at fastest lap here. We'll see, even with the invalidations, if we can maybe do it. Rear wanted to let go again there. Good exit of the final corner. We would have done it if we didn't invalidate the laps. The LMP2 cars didn't need to pit at the end, so we wouldn't have got them. Yeah, that would have been a 28.7, just about. The potential was there. Best lap. Ooh, we do still have it in the LMP2 class. By 900ths of a second. Oh damn, stream dropped the low frames at the end. Apologies for that. I'm tired after that. What was it? That's 11 o'clock now. 10 past 11. Ugh. Yeah, that was fun. I mean, I did mess that up quite a bit. Yeah, at least I had fastest lap. Also, very satisfying time between first and second. 20 seconds exactly. Very, very satisfying indeed. Well, as always, we're going to switch over to a little bit of Art of Rally to end the stream. Just the daily event. We did the weekly event yesterday. And honestly, I'm too tired to do the weekly event today. Just waiting on closing out LMU. There we go. Take this off. And Art of Rally. Do, do. Right, so let us see. Weekly event. Where do we sit with like a couple of hours? Just under a couple of hours ago, we're 42nd, top 5%. Dropped a little bit. I've the top 40. A little bit disappointing. But oh well. Then daily event. Leaderboard. Yesterday we've got 32nd. Not too bad. Top 10%. Where do you go in? 27. So let's see if we can maybe get a top 30. Group B at Norway, a 5.1 kilometer stage on gravel. Blimey, the snow is so bright. Group B, what is that? Renault 5 Turbo we have. Let's see. We were driving Group 4 version of this, was it? Which was very nice to drive, so it was. But this is the Group B version. Still rear-wheel drive, a whole lot more power though. And as you can see, it does slide around a little bit more. It is a bit twitchier because of it. fishtailing out of that little chicane. There then is N2, 8.7. Wasn't a great stint. At 26th though, that's not too bad. Top 10%, that's better than I was expecting, to be honest, with how well that was. But of course, the Renault 5, very difficult car to drive, so I suppose not that much of a surprise. Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's stream. We are well over 3.5 hours now. Yeah, that was a fun race. Okay, didn't go my way. I made too many mistakes. You know, especially the first race, just threw the whole race off. But it was still fun. Fuji, good track. It's always interesting in the LMP2s when you've got a class that's faster than you and is lapping you, but you're also faster than another. You've got a class that's slower than you and you're having to lap them as well. It always makes for an interesting race. I kind of wish the race started 1 hour later, or sorry, 1 hour earlier. So we got a little bit more daylight. Like where the race was with an hour to go, that's kind of when it should have finished in at nighttime. The final hour being pitch black was kind of like, okay, a little bit tired of this. So yeah, it would have been nice to get a little bit more sun, a little bit more day running, and then run into the night in the sort of final 2 hours. But yeah, it was fun, and then finished with third rally. Yeah, I'm gonna go relax for a bit because I need it. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon sometime with the WRC Creator Series. We've got 2017 to 2021 WRC cars at Poland. Be a very high speed rally, high risk. See if we can have a clean rally, and then we'll be back on Monday for for 75 minutes of Interlagos in LMP2s again with Hypercars and GT3s. So, yeah, more of that similar action. And Interlagos's middle sector is as technical as Fuji's final sector. So we'll still see awkward moments. It'd probably be even more awkward. I'm very interested to see how that will go. And and once again, like the LMP2s are not far off the hypercars once again. It's like similar gap. So different community, maybe slightly bigger field spread of skill could yeah, could be very interesting. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's stream. Thank you, Gigi. Thank you, Pre, being around chatting a little bit. Thank you to all who's lurked throughout the long stream that we had today. Hopefully, see you back tomorrow, Monday. If not, hopefully later on next week. But yeah, until then, enjoy your rest of your Saturday night. Enjoy your Sunday morning, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. But until then, again, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.